enough trouble as it is. Nobody will learn anything.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Basper.
Really?
I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinus?
I need to get into the upper quarters.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
I've got my own opinion about that.
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Herod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
That's been known a long time.
Will I get your approval to sign up with a different master?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows, maybe you'll end up liking it, and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
For me. You didn't get that from me.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
You didn't get that from me. He never would have thought of that himself.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
It's a bad business.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway, but you won't be officially admitted.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
He never would have thought of that himself.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
I'm no better off myself.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
What can I do for you?
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double-hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here. But it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
That's a whole damn lot.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
in principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
Where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
That's really not my problem.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus.
How do I get the approval of the other masters?
You just have to convince them. Go and talk to them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance, so behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
That's been known a long time.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
We can only wait and see. I never knew that.
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorben.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
I'm gonna pay the sum for you.
You would do that for me? Oh, I knew you weren't a greedy bastard like that Mateo.
Yeah, never mind.
Come back once you've taken care of that. I want to show you my gratitude.
There, where Adenos stood, was a place. I knew that would be a problem. Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
You want to pay for her? I'd have preferred it if you'd squeezed it out of her. Still, 100 gold pieces is 100 gold pieces. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Well, if you mean, do I say my prayers regularly?
I see. A man who does not ply his trade with the blessing of the gods will never receive my approval. Ask for the gods' forgiveness for your transgressions. Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adenos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
I'm not telling you anything new.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have paid Gritta's debt with Mateo. You seem to be a decent fellow. I shall teach you what you want to know. However, I cannot do it for free. I still have a mountain of debts, and I need the money.
How much do you charge?
200 gold pieces.
Maybe later.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Can you sell me some lockpicks?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so? What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants' Rebellion?
Rumor has it that NotR, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. NotR's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
Hey,
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
what's it like to be the smith's apprentice?
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I have learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice.
Who are the other masters?
Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about Master Harrod.
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Can you teach me anything? I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
When can I start as your apprentice?
Not before you've proven to me that you're good for something.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you going to sign up?
I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval? As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
Show me your wares.
delighted in all the beings equally. But so great... Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point. Whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardas, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer. So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Carinus.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the Sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that, the great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Carinus these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Carinus is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However...
Yes?
You should take your message to the Paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
I shall do that. I've got this stone tablet. Can you tell me more about it?
Those are artifacts from the old culture, which we have been investigating for some time. There are several kinds of them. Some contain information about the history of the ancient people, and that is the kind I am interested in. Bring me all of those that you can find. I shall give you an appropriate reward.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
Where can I find a priest of Innos?
The best thing would be to look around the marketplace. You will find an emissary of the monastery there. Wait, if you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
And Beliar gave unto it a portion of his divine power, so that it might destroy the land.
Can I get a drink here?
If you have gold, you can even eat here if you like.
But Enos beheld what Beliar had done.
And how's business going?
Ah, don't remind me. Lord Andre is serving free beer at the Gallows Square. Hardly anybody comes here now, except for the rich people from the upper quarter.
What's wrong with them?
Yeah, some of those swells could really get on your nerves. Take that Valentino, for instance. I can't stand the sight of him. But I can't pick my customers. I need every coin I can make. What little I had managed to save has been stolen, along with all my silver.
You've been robbed?
Yep, some time ago. It was still rather crowded that night, and I was doing the rounds serving beer. I wasn't gone long from behind the counter, but it was long enough for those bastards. I went to see the militia about it, but they couldn't find a thing, of course. Yeah, they prefer to get plastered on free beer.
Tell me about the missing townspeople.
I heard that a lot of them went missing down by the harbor. Small wonder with all that's going on down there. Even Thorben, the carpenter in the lower part of town, has lost his apprentice. Hakon, one of the merchants in the marketplace, had an especially strange tale to tell. He said that there was this fella that he used to bump into every day, and then suddenly he vanished off the face of the earth. We even went to see the militia about it. Townspeople all pretty much panicked after that. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's all nonsense. Corinthus is a rough city, and many dangers lurk outside her gates. Those who don't stay within the city walls will be attacked by bandits or eaten by wild animals. Yeah, it's that simple.
What is it with this Valentino?
He's filthy rich and has no need to work. And he brags about it to everybody, whether you want to hear it or not. He drinks a lot and always stays until the end. And then early in the morning, he totters back to the upper quarter. It's the same every day.
And Enos, in his wisdom...
What do I have to do to get into the upper quarter?
Well, you need to be a citizen of the town. Go find some work. Preferably with a craftsman in the lower part of town. That'd make you a citizen. Well, and if that's still not enough, go talk to Lord Andre at the barracks. Maybe he'll let you join the city guard. They can go into the upper quarter, too.
would exist at all. No light and no darkness. And so he set himself between his
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
One more thing.
Listen, kid.
Someone's gonna
I've got important things to do right now. We'll talk again later, got it?
Don't tell this to anyone. And it's gonna get even
I am Hacker, the weapons dealer. Every man should carry a weapon these days, especially when venturing outside of the city walls.
Talks too much.
He better shut up.
Do you know anything about the Paladins?
Yes. Those guys are ruining my business. All you can buy in this entire town is a short sword at most. They've helped themselves to anything that's longer than 1.5 feet. In return, I now get to live in the hotel free of charge.
And it's gonna get even worse.
Tell me more about the area around the city.
It's gotten too dangerous out there.
Really?
Because of the bandits, for one thing. And also on account of wild beasts. Even the animals don't seem to get enough to eat in these crappy times. They're venturing closer to the city all the time.
That's what I've always said.
Where do you get your weapons from?
Harad the Smith has been my supplier up to now. Now all he does is make stuff for the Paladins. He works for those guys day and night like a madman, without pay. He thinks it's his duty. All I can offer you now is my remaining stock.
What do you know about the disappearances of the citizens of Corinus?
I have seen many pass through the eastern city gate. Some of those who came I had never seen before in my life. And many of those who went out never came back. But what happened the other day was really quite strange. There was this fellow who came here. I think his name is Joe. He bragged that he would soon come into some serious money. He claimed that he knew how to get into one of the city towers, where the militia keep their arms. I haven't seen him since, even though I used to bump into him around the same time every day. I reported this to the militia. I thought that maybe he had been caught and thrown into the dungeon. But Lord Andre had no idea what I was talking about. He didn't even know the fella.
What do you know about the bandits?
What do I know about them? They robbed me on my way to the city, and I'm not the only one. They've been up to their tricks for quite a while. The militia tried to track them down, but without any success.
Go away, don't tell me that.
Do you know who in the militia took part in the search?
The fellow's name is Pablo. He and a few others went looking for the bandits, but they didn't find them.
Do you know where I can find Pablo?
He patrols around the city. You'll find him either at the Temple Square or in the lower part of town.
Where did they hold you up?
Near Akil's farm. Just go out of the city gate from here. Follow the road to the right. After a while, you'll get to a few steps. The bastards came from there. I bet they have their hideout back there in the woods.
I'll deal with it.
What? You want to take on the bandits? By yourself? You're quite a good fighter, huh?
How much is the matter worth to you?
That's a dangerous business. Well, it's all right with me. I'll pay you 100 gold pieces if you defeat the bandits.
Show me your wares.
That's not what I heard.
Who says things like that?
Innos be with you, stranger. If you're looking for a good selection for the traveler, then you're in the right place. But I'm warning you, if you're planning on helping yourself without paying, I'll call the city guard.
Just a moment. Do I look like a thief?
Bah! You won't be the first one to make off with my things today.
Somebody stole from you.
I can't prove it. The fellow was damn clever. Introduced himself as Ringaroo, if that really is his right name. He's been hanging around the marketplace the last few days. And every evening he gets plastered at the beer stand down the street. I bet the bastard is drinking my money. I only looked away for a moment, and my purse was gone.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I could get your gold back for you.
Oh, and why would you do that?
That's what I've always said.
Well, that depends. Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
You've got the wrong man. I'm from out of town like most of the merchants in the marketplace. If you want to get into the upper quarter, go talk to the resident merchants in the lower part of town.
I want part of the gold as a reward.
First, see if you can get my purse back. Then, we'll talk about your reward.
That's what I've always said.
Why didn't you call the city guard?
The guards only respond if a thief is caught in the act. And when I noticed my purse was missing, the bastard was already gone.
How much gold was in that purse?
50 gold pieces. That's quite a lot in these crappy times.
I'll see what I can do.
Be careful. If you just knock the bastard down, the city guard will get involved. Lately, things have been getting really tough here. Since the paladins came to town, the guards have been cracking down on brawlers. So think of something.
I shall.
And he works all day too.
Show me your wares.
These are bad times.
I've got to be on my way.
And he works all day too.
Welcome, stranger. My name is Baltram. Have you come to stock up on food? I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you.
Honestly,
I don't have much in stock right now, but I'll be getting a new delivery soon.
Have you got a job for me?
No, I already have an errand boy. Try the other merchants.
Go away.
You're doing business with pirates?
What? Who told you that?
Don't tell her.
I talked to one of them. He seems to be waiting for you in his bay.
What can you do? These are hard times. Everybody has to look after his own.
Weren't you afraid of getting caught?
That could happen. You found out too, didn't you? But you'll keep your mouth shut, right?
Who says things like that?
What do you know about the pirates?
They live in a remote part of the island of Corinthus. It can only be reached with a cog or some other ship, as far as I know. The citizens of Corinthus fear them, quite rightly so, for they're nothing but a bunch of nasty cutthroats. Still, if you ask me, they're nowhere near as bad as the bandits.
What is it you're trading?
I mostly supply them with food, and for that, they give me the finest rum that's to be had in Corinthus.
I could take care of this deal for you.
That would be great. I cannot leave Corinthus at the moment. Here, take this package and tell Skip not to be so stingy with the rum this time. It should be at least 3 bottles.
That was all I wanted to know.
What can I do for you? Are you seeking spiritual comfort? Do you want to direct a prayer to our Lord Enos, or donate some gold for his church?
I've come to get your blessing.
That's good. That's good. Then you will probably want to donate gold to the Holy Church of Enos, won't you?
Actually, I wanted your blessing so I can sign on as an apprentice in the lower part of town.
But my son, without a modest donation to the church, it is impossible for me to bless you. How else can I be certain of your good intentions toward the Holy Church of Enos?
So, how much does a donation usually run to here?
Well, that depends on what percentage you want to give, son. Let me see how much you brought. You have more than 100 gold pieces. The Lord says give if you have. The church accepts your generous donation. I bless you in the name of Enos, for he is light and righteousness.
I need to talk to the paladins. Can you help me get to them?
Well, you need access to the upper end of town. However, this is allowed only to citizens and the city guard. And of course, to us, magicians of fire.
How can I become a fire magician?
You must join our order as a novice. When you have served for a time, perhaps you will be accepted into the ranks of the magicians. However, the path to acceptance is long and full of work and study.
Where do you come from?
I come from the Monastery of the Magicians, which lies in the mountains. We accept everyone there who is pure of heart and feels the desire to serve our almighty Lord Innos.
Tell me about Innos.
Innos, our almighty Lord, is the light and the fire. He chooses humans to be his tool, giving them magic and laws. We act in his name. We administer justice according to his will and preach his word.
Tell me more about the monastery.
We instruct our students in all forms of magic. But the arts of the Magicians of Fire consist of more than these alone. We are also well versed in the art of alchemy and in the creation of powerful runes. We also make excellent wine.
What are you doing in town?
I have discussions with the paladins and support the citizens with my advice and with helpful words. Particularly in these difficult times, it is our duty to be there for the people and to help the poor.
I'm Zurus, Master of Potions. Do you need an essence of healing or a magic elixir? Then you've come to the right place.
Do you brew your own potions?
No, I either get them from the monastery or I buy them from Constantino, the alchemist. If you're interested in brewing potions, then talk to him. He needs an assistant. But he's too pig-headed to hire someone himself. He's just as stubborn as a mule. He always passes me when he goes out on the East Gate to collect plants for his potions.
Where exactly does Constantino gather his herbs?
He always goes through the Eastern City Gate here and then disappears into the wilderness to the left. He once told me that just about everything grows there, except for King Sorrel.
Has Constantino ever told you where to find King Sorrel?
I once heard him say that the stuff grows near stone circles, near Lobart's farm. That's a farm near the other gate. There's one of those stone circles. I think it's on a hill. It used to be a grave or something.
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
That's not what I heard.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it.
Hey, you!
What led you into this poor area? What are you looking for here?
I'm just looking around a bit.
Ha! Then you better not be caught looking around. It would seem that we have a few thieves in the city who would steal stuff from the rich people. The city guard recently turned the harbor district upside down, but they didn't find anything.
What do you know about the thieves?
Nothing. But all the citizens are scared and have become distrustful, particularly towards strangers. Don't get caught in strange houses. No one takes kindly to that. Yeah, you gotta protect yourself against thieves. A sturdy cudgel works best.
Can you teach me anything?
Can't you see I'm busy? Come back later.
Ah, you've come just in time. I'm in need of an assistant for a magic experiment. I'm sure you're eager to do me a favor for science's sake.
Easy, my friend. First tell me what this is all about.
I have developed a new spell, a spell of oblivion. I've already successfully carried out a few practical applications, but I don't have time to conduct one final test.
What's in it for me if I help you?
I could teach you how to brew potions. I know the recipes for healing and mana essences, and for potions of great speed.
Tell me more about the experiment and the spell.
The spell serves to make somebody forget various events. So far, I have only found it to work when the person in question is angry, for instance. If he has been knocked down or robbed, even if he has only witnessed such a deed, he will scratch it from his memory.
So I'm supposed to knock somebody down and then put a spell on him?
Yes, I think you get the point. But to make somebody angry, it is enough to attack him. You don't have to knock him down. So you should pick somebody who's by himself. If there are other people around, you'll just get into trouble with Lord Andre. Also, it makes no sense to cast the spell on someone who's busy attacking you. Wait for the right moment.
All right, I'll try out that spell.
Then take this spell scroll and find yourself a suitable guinea pig. Once you're done, come back and tell me how it went.
You look a little worse for wear. Haven't slept in a long time, have you?
Too long, I should say.
Come on, step closer. With me, you'll find what you're looking for.
As if I didn't have enough problems.
It was his decision, wasn't it?
You said that you've got what I need. Does that include information?
But of course. What is it you want to know? Who says things like that?
That's exactly what I said.
Show me your wares.
It was quite obvious.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
You could say so. It wasn't that long ago. A thief ran by here. He must have stolen a bow in the lower part of the city. Of course, the militia came here way too late, like always. He got away from them, just jumped into the harbor, and he was gone.
Nobody ever asks me. You just have to listen.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Hey! Vatras sent me. He told me to come to you when I needed help.
So you've already been to see Vatras? You must have made a lasting impression on him. Otherwise, he certainly wouldn't have volunteered my name. Especially not since the matter with those missing people still hasn't been resolved. Tell me what you need.
Vatras gave me this ornament to bring to you. He said it is to be taken back.
Of course. It's up to me, as usual. I might have known. I'll have to walk halfway across the island to take it back to the water mages.
I can take the ornament there for you.
I think I'd better take it there myself. But you could come with me. Only, I can't leave here at the moment. I need to keep an eye on the harbor.
What exactly do you do here at the harbor?
I can't talk about that. Vatras would have my head.
That's exactly what I said.
I need your help.
And what exactly were you thinking of?
I need some money.
Don't we all? Sorry, but I have none to give you. But Lamar, the moneylender, still owes me a favor. Go to him and borrow whatever money you need. I'll take care of the rest. You'll find Lamar in the harbor district, where it borders on the lower part of town.
Vatras said you could help me join a community.
Getting tired of being the underdog, are you? All right, I see your point. I can exert my influence with the mercenaries if you want to join Lee. And I'm sure we can find a way to get you into the monastery soon. But the easiest thing would certainly be for you to join the militia. Which community do you prefer?
The militia.
Yes, I can imagine you'd like that, eh? Read the law to other people while you're pocketing their purses. The Paladins have set up their provisions store by the harbor. Their provisions master is a good friend of mine. Maybe he can do something for you. His name is Martin.
So what's your business with Vatras?
I've got this little agreement with the water mages, you see.
What kind of an agreement?
We work for them, and they see to it that our past in the penal colony doesn't get us into trouble.
You're talking about the Ring of Water?
You've heard of it?
Vatras told me about it.
You might have mentioned that right away.
About those missing people. Tell me what you know.
The first was William, one of the fishermen here in Corinus. One day, he simply didn't return. At first, we thought that one of those sea monsters out there had eaten him in his boat for breakfast. But not too long afterwards, other people started disappearing from the town and the surroundings. Pretty random events, though. Everyone's at a loss so far. The way it looks, we'll just have to wait until we finally stumble across a clue.
Isn't this a case for the militia?
The militia is pretty useless if you ask me. They're never going to clear this up. The missing people have just vanished into thin air.
Tell me more about the Ring of Water.
The ring is to the water mages what the paladins are to the fire magicians. But, unlike the paladins, we operate in the background. The ring is a mighty weapon in the battle against the dangers that threaten the people of Corinus. But this only works as long as we keep the identity of all those secret who belong to the Ring of Water. So keep this to yourself.
Sure. I want to join the Ring of Water.
That's fine with me. But the decision about whether you will be accepted or not lies with the water mages alone.
What did you do to impress the water mages?
I protected them for a long time when we were still living with the barrier, and they have plenty of reason to be grateful to me.
What's it like to belong to the Ring?
We are very different from the usual communities you can join here in Corinus. Once you're one of us, we're not going to ask anything of you that you are not ready to do. The only thing we truly require of you is to keep quiet. We work in secret and do not want to let outsiders know who our members are. We shall keep an eye on you. Everything else remains to be seen.
I see.
Hey, you! Where you going? No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Corinus, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Myrtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadia, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
Talk to Bromar if you want to have some fun.
Why haven't I heard about this?
Hey.
Hey, if you want to buy fish, come to my booth tomorrow, okay?
You just have to listen.
Can you tell me something about those missing people?
Missing people? This is a harbor, pal. Things like that are bound to happen. The sea is treacherous and bound to claim a life now and then. Captains of large vessels will always sign on new sailors in a large seaport such as Corinus to complete their cruise.
And if they don't find any volunteers, some people may get dragged off against their will, and then they're gone.
Are you missing someone?
Me? No.
You already know what I think.
Do you know of anyone who's gone missing?
No idea. Ask the shipbuilders.
Who says things like that?
What ship would that have been?
Good question. Not many ships have come into Corinthus lately. That is true.
Do you really think? I'm staying up.
I already thought as much.
Ahoy, you landlubber. Looks like you're stranded here. You look a bit pale around the gills. Never mind, my lad. All you need is a good stiff sea breeze.
What are you doing here?
Back when I was a young man, I went to sea and rode through many a big storm. No big deal, not at all. But that old tower came closest to what I call a home. I haven't been up there in ages.
Why not?
Ever since these scallywags took over my lighthouse, I haven't dared get closer to it than 20 feet. Really bad rabble, that. They're criminals from the Valley of Mind, you know. There was this big bang on the other side of the mountains, and they swarmed all over the land like flies. Now they're hiding out everywhere, even in my lighthouse. I think they're on the lookout for any ship they can raid. Ah, let them. Then at least they'd be out of my tower.
Do you come to town often?
I always say a town is only as good as its harbor. A harbor is the gate to the world. That's where everyone meets and where everything starts. Once the harbor goes to the dogs, the rest of the city will follow soon.
Who said that? You should really have known better. I don't believe this is gonna change.
And he works all day, too.
Some problems solve themselves.
Are you the one who runs this place?
I am Bromo, this is my house, and these are my girls. I like my girls. And if you like my girls too, then you'll pay for it, 50 gold pieces. And don't get the idea of making trouble here.
More trouble. I couldn't care less.
Are all your girls accounted for?
Of course they are. Or do you think I want to go to jail over something like that?
I wasn't asking about your payroll. I mean, are they all present, or have any gone missing?
Oh yeah. Actually, one of my girls has up and left. Her name's Lucia. I reported it to the militia too, but they claim they haven't found a trace of her yet.
Really, how interesting.
That'll only cause more trouble.
How long has Lucia been missing?
Several days. I don't know exactly how long. I assume she ran off with one of her suitors, eh? That bitch made off with part of my savings, a really valuable golden dish, eh? If I get hold of her, I'll give her what for. So how is that any business of yours, huh? Do you want to have fun or not?
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
That's not what I heard.
Hey!
Hey, I can take care of you now, baby. Talk to Bromar if you want to have some fun.
That's not what I heard.
I just want to ask you a few questions about those missing people.
I could tell you a thing or two, but not here, honey.
Then let's go upstairs.
Fine, but you get it settled with Bromar first. I don't want any trouble.
So why won't they listen to me?
I don't believe that.
Those are all just rumors.
I'm not touching that.
You should really have known better.
Hey, you have no business up here. Only paladins and those of us in the militia have access here.
What's up here, then?
This is the provisions store of the Royal Guard of the Paladins. I am the provisions master here, and I'm responsible for seeing to it that none of the paladin stuff goes astray, and you're not wanted here. So keep your hands to yourself, or I'll chop them off.
Dolores sent me. He said you could help me.
So? He did? Then fire away. What do you want from me?
I want to join the militia.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you? We don't just take on ragbags like you for no good reason. You'd probably have to.
Spare me the drivel. Tell me what I have to do to join you.
Okay. Then pay attention. The job of the provisions master is hell, let me tell you. Managing all the crates and sacks in this place is bad enough.
But every time I spend an evening in Cardiff's tavern, someone busies himself with the crates here, and when I come back the next morning, something is missing. Strangely enough, the paladins never see anything. I'm going crazy. I can't spend the entire night standing around here like an idiot. You, on the other hand...
I get it. I'm supposed to keep watch here while you hang around in the tavern.
Take it or leave it.
I'll watch over your provisions crates tonight.
Sweet. Good. Then come back tonight and keep an eye on the stuff here. In the meantime, I'll be in Cardiff's tavern.
Can you sell me any of the paladin stuff?
You want to buy? Let's say that if you could compensate me for the trouble that will arise from the paladin's things wandering off, then we might be able to do business.
Does that happen often? Things going astray?
As long as the provisions master says that everything is right, no.
I see. What do you have to offer?
Then pay attention.
All the crates still there?
Go ahead and laugh at me. You stand on the pier all day and try to watch over all the chaos. The paladins drag so much rubbish along that it isn't funny.
Hey.
You're a fisherman?
Now, how did you ever guess that? Can't you simply leave me alone? Don't take it personally, but I haven't been too happy lately. It's that militia.
Trouble with the militia?
Those bastards keep coming here and taking whatever they want. Last week, they made off with my entire catch. It's for a good cause, they said. I know that everybody's got to fend for himself since the farmers have stopped trading. And, of course, sometimes people just go hungry. Small wonder that they're snatching the fish from right under my nose. But if they keep doing this, I won't even have enough to feed myself.
Have you talked to the paladins about this?
Are you joking? Do you really think they'd be interested if a poor devil like me has his problems with the militia?
Maybe I can help you.
I don't know. I suppose you'd have to know somebody from the militia who has connections to the paladins. The paladins will hardly buy the fish from me.
I shall see what I can do. Can you tell me something about the missing people?
My friend William started hanging out with a bunch of shady characters. And where did it get him? One day he simply didn't show up for work. And that's the last we saw of him.
Your buddy William has disappeared?
So he has. He's a fisherman, but a little too big for his boots, I should add. He should have stayed well away from that bunch.
When did you last see him?
Only a few days ago.
Maybe he just went out to sea to fish.
That's not very likely. His boat is still moored in the harbor.
What's he been up to?
William had some shady dealings with those crooks. I think it was all about contraband that he sold to the bastards.
He'll surface again.
I don't think so. He's been gone for too long already. I'm afraid that I'll be dragging his body from the sea at some point.
What bastards would those be?
I don't know who they are or what their business is here in Corinthus. I only know the place where they met up with William. I just happened to see William there when I was fishing in the bay.
Where exactly is that meeting place?
There's a bay opposite the harbor, north of here. You can only reach it by boat or swim. There's a beach there and a small fishing camp. That's where I saw them.
I think I've heard enough.
Spare yourself the effort. I don't believe you'll find him.
Hey, you! What are you doing there?
Well, it's none of your business. Get lost.
Martin will be so happy when I tell him who's been rummaging through his belongings while he's gone.
You do whatever you want. I'll be on my way then, little man.
Wait a minute. Do you really think you're gonna get away with this?
Hey, don't make such a fuss about a little bit of grub.
NotR deals out fair punishment. NotR deals out fair punishment. Tell me that.
He really didn't deserve that.
I don't want to hear that. Anything's possible.
Hey, I don't know you. What do you want here? Are you headed for the tavern?
That was obvious all along.
No, I'm not headed for the tavern.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. But that isn't important, and that's why we can get straight down to business. Since you're new here, I'll make you an offer. You give me 50 gold pieces, and you can go. That's your entrance fee for the tavern.
But I don't want to go to the tavern.
You know, sooner or later, everyone wants to go into the tavern. So you can pay right now. Then you'll have it over with.
Forget it. You won't get a single coin.
Then I'll take everything you have. As soon as you're lying on the ground in front of me. Ah! Ah! Yeah, that's the ticket.
Give it your all.
Attaboy!
Show him.
What you waiting for?
Hit him.
What you waiting for?
Finish.
Not bad at all.
All day, too.
That's all just gossip.
That's what I've always said.
He works all day, too.
There's nothing you can do
A long time.
And that's the truth.
He simply talks too much.
He listened to the wrong people.
Why get so worked up?
I couldn't care less.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
But he knew that all along.
Someone's got to do the work.
Will it ever change?
That's not what I heard.
I agree with you completely.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
He works all day, too.
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gallows Square.
I won't tell her a thing.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha.
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
You listen to the wrong
I have a
people.
few questions about the city.
He simply talks too much.
It's really not my problem.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinthus, by the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen,
change.
The following decree is hereby enacted. Martial law is immediately declared in all cities.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Who says things like that?
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
That's not what my husband thinks.
That's all just gossips.
I won't tell her a thing from now on.
I have a few questions about the city. Tell me about the town.
Corinus is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
Where can I buy something around here?
The market is directly in front of the door. You should be able to find everything there. There are a few more shops and craftsmen on the other side of town. Most of them are near the other city gate. Also, there's a fishmonger in the harbor district. His shop is right at the harbor. He's easy to find.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Nobody will learn
Hear
anything
ye,
from me.
inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following days of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
All day too.
That was quite obvious.
How's it going?
You're not from around here, are you? Never mind. Neither am I.
Where did you hang around before?
In the woods, hunting scavengers and wolves, together with some hunters. But I gave it up. These are dangerous times. There's a lot of riffraff running around out there.
Where can I find the other hunters?
We had our camp outside near the tavern, halfway to NotR's farm. But I don't know whether there is anyone left in the camp now. There used to be 2 of us here in town, until a few days ago. My friend Trokar is an excellent hunter.
He'd better
Vosper said you used to work for him.
Yes, I did, but he was only interested in his blasted hides. I told him how dangerous it's gotten out there. He didn't really listen to me. Well, anyway, he paid well. I can't complain about that.
Can you tell me anything else about him?
Vosper had one of his bows stolen recently, in broad daylight. Some guy just waltzed into his store, took a bow, and left. The thieves are getting more and more brazen.
Go away, don't tell
Why don't we go hunting together?
With 2, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
No.
Then it wouldn't be worth it. Come back when you learn something.
That's not what my husband thinks.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
So, where is your friend Trokar now?
Well, it's a curious story. Only a few days ago, we were both standing at the bar in Corrigan's Tavern, discussing the hunt. Don't ask me what happened next. I had had a few by then. I vaguely remember Trokar saying that he was going out to get a few swampweed reefers. He never came back.
Didn't you go looking for him?
No, but I reported it to the militia. But they haven't been able to find him yet. I hope he didn't get attacked by a wolf, or worse. I'm afraid that I'll stumble over his body someday when I'm out hunting. I don't think I could bear that.
Where does one get swampweed reefers?
Somewhere down at the harbor, as far as I know.
It can't go on like this forever.
Someone's got it.
I don't believe this.
He simply...
It can't go on.
That's what I've always said. said.
Where did you pick that up, then?
Don't tell this to anyone.
We can only wait and
Oh,
see.
man, my head.
Wait a minute.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
Well, what have we here?
Have you no manners? Oh, is this filthy rabble?
Who says
Haven't you a job where you ought to be? But I suppose no one would miss a down-at-heel fellow like you, hey? Well, if you had as much gold as I do, you wouldn't have to work either. But you'll never be that rich.
I see I'm gonna have lots of fun with you.
Everybody knows by now.
I asked you who you are.
I am Valentino, the handsome, bon vivant and ladies' man. Poor in cares, rich in wisdom and gold, and the women throw themselves at me. If you have problems, keep them. I don't need them.
Looks like I'm gonna have to teach you some manners.
Doesn't matter to me. Thrash me all you want. When I get up tomorrow, I'll be fine again. But you'll have to run around with that mug of yours for life.
That's not what.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
Leave me alone.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Go away, don't tell me that.
What's the matter?
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Yes.
And did you also get the blessing of a priest of Innos?
Yes, I did.
Then you shall have my blessing as well. No matter what path you decide to take pride in doing a good job, my boy.
I've heard a thing or two.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Is it really true?
Hey, you!
Honestly,
Jorah says you've got his money.
Damn it! I'm out of here!
Nobody will learn anything from me.
that's enough easy.
It's really not my problem.
Hey, what do you want from me? Huh?
You stole from Jorah in broad daylight, and he even saw you do it. So I've come to tell you that you're a lousy thief, and that... you had better hand over Jorah's gold now.
Here's the dough, man! But now let me go! I'll never do it again!
I should turn you into the militia.
What else do you want? I've got nothing left. Let me go, man!
Why would I want to do that?
In the city, it's always good to know the right people and to stay on their good side. I could put in a good word for you. I can't and won't say more. The rest is up to you.
Get lost and don't show your face around here again.
Oh, you won't regret this. Thanks, man.
Damn it. What? You still owe me a favor. It is time to pay your debt.
What do you want?
I want my old stall in the marketplace back. Sarah snatched it away from me, but she has had that spot long enough. I want her to give up the stall.
And what's my part in this?
I will give you a letter to stick in her pocket. Then you go to Andre and tell him that Sarah is selling weapons to NotR. She lands in prison, you pocket the bounty, and I get the stall. You have 2 days to accomplish this.
That's really not my problem.
All right, looks like I've got no choice.
You're a clever lad. Here is the letter.
How am I supposed to foist the letter on her?
Let her show you her wares, and while she does, you hide the letter on her. And bear in mind, I am an influential man in the city, so don't try to play me for a fool.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus.
About the thief.
Yes, how's it going? Have you caught him? And much more importantly, do you have my gold?
He got away from me.
And what about my gold? Did he get away with it?
Here's the 50 gold pieces he stole from you.
Innos be praised. There is still justice in the city.
I want part of the gold as a reward.
If it's gold you want, then hunt down the thieves and collect the bounty from Lord Andre.
How strange. It seems to me that I have met you before, traveler. Well, great are the mysteries of time and space. Oh, please forgive my rudeness, son of patience. I have not even greeted you yet. Welcome, friend. Take a seat on my humble rugs and enjoy a pipe in peace.
Who are you?
My name is Abu Jin ibn Jadir ibn Omar Khalid bin Haji al-Sharidi. I am a seer and a prophet, an astrologer and a purveyor of tobacco.
What kind of tobacco do you offer?
My pipes are filled with spicy, refreshing apple tobacco. Help yourself whenever you want, son of adventure.
Do you have other tobacco as well?
I offer only the very best tobacco. This apple blend is a symphony from my homeland, the Southern Isles. But of course, I'm always open to trying a different sort of tobacco. If somebody should succeed in producing a really good tobacco.
How's that done?
Start with my apple tobacco as a basis, and then try combining it with another ingredient. This is done at an alchemist's bench, provided you know the essentials of alchemy.
Where can I get apple tobacco?
I shall give you 2 portions. It is up to you, in your wisdom, to do with them whatever you want. If you crave more, then direct your steps toward Zuris, the master of potions. He produces this tobacco, and he sells it too.
Can you make me a prophecy?
My services are yours for a modest fee. Oh, father of generosity.
How much do you want?
For a paltry 25 coins. I shall risk a glance through time for you. But remember, the future is always uncertain. All I can do is glimpse some fragments of time.
Tell me about the future.
All right, seeker of knowledge. I shall now enter a state of trance. Are you ready? Orcs. They are guarding an entry, an old tunnel, a valley of mines, men in shining armor. A magician. Your friend is with them. He is waiting for you. Fire! An attack! A mighty creature. The flames, many shall die. What is that? A city. Ruins. Quarholdron in Jarkandar. He is summoned.
That's not what I heard.
Quarholdron in Jarkandar. I'm sorry. The vision is over. There's nothing more I can see.
He simply talks too much. You don't say. Really? How interesting.
From this moment onward, Lord Andre will take the supreme command of our militia. All the citizens of this city who have martial skills at their disposal are here with her.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's an open secret.
Do you really think?
The things I could tell you, you can't rely on this.
For that is the will.
Do you really believe that?
You don't have to tell me that.
I caught the thief. It's Rangar who is poking through your stocks.
Well, finally. At least now I know I have to keep an eye on. The bastard. There'll be one heck of a dust-up if I catch him at it. I've always wondered why none of the paladins saw anything.
And? Why?
It's obvious. The idiots can't tell those of us in the militia apart from one another. To them, we all look alike. That was good work, mate. If I can do anything for you, just say the word.
You know what I want from you.
Oh, yeah. You want to join the militia, right? You've already proven your abilities to me. Well, let me put it this way. I'd rather know you're on our side than on someone else's. That's why I'll help you. Take this letter of recommendation from me and show it to Andre, our paladin commander. You'll find him in the barracks. I'm sure he can use you.
Farum the fisherman has problems with the militia. The boys are constantly stealing from him.
And what do I have to do with it?
You have a certain amount of influence up here with the paladins. Farum needs your protection. He's willing to give you a part of his catch for it.
I see what you mean. Fish. As if I didn't have enough crap to deal with. Tell your pal he should come to me and tell me exactly what's up with the militia. I'll take care of it.
That's all just gossip. I never knew that.
I've got no time for things I could tell you.
That's the first
Do you really believe that? You never thought of that himself.
Same old thing. He thinks it's as easy as helping.
I know how to resolve your trouble with the militia.
And how would that be?
Martin, the provisions master of the Paladins, wants to hear your story about the militia and the fish.
And you think he can make the militia leave me alone?
At least that's what he said.
Great, thank you. I cannot give you much, but wait. I found this strange blue stone on one of the islands off the coast of Corinus. I don't think it's worth a whole lot, but someone like you will certainly find a use for it.
Nobody wants to know.
That's been known a long time.
Wouldn't be so sure.
Now that's typical, isn't it? If I hadn't seen it.
Inos be with you, stranger. What brings you to me?
I've got an important message for Lord Hagen.
Well, you stand before one of his men. What is this about?
That I must tell Lord Hagen myself.
Suit yourself. But you should know one thing. Lord Hagen receives only paladins, or those who are in the service to paladins. It is beneath his dignity to waste his time with members of the common folk.
I want to take up service with the paladins.
Good. I can well use every able man here, no matter what his reasons for joining us. If you place yourself in the service of the paladins, I shall help you get an audience with Lord Hagen. However, I have my orders only to accept citizens of the town into the militia. My commander is afraid that spies or saboteurs could sneak in. He wants to limit the risk this way. Therefore, you must first be a citizen of the town. Whether this rule makes sense or not is disputable, but orders are orders.
Is there a faster way to join you?
You're really serious about this, aren't you? Good. Listen, I have a problem. If you solve it for me, I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia. But the most important thing is, you must not breathe a word of it to anyone.
What's your problem?
Recently, there have been a number of thefts in the city. Thus far, we have not been able to capture anyone. The thieves are simply too skillful. The scum know their business. I'm sure that we're dealing with an organized gang. It would not amaze me if there were a thieves' guild in Corinus. Find the leaders of the gang and hunt them down. Then I shall see to it that you are accepted into the militia, regardless of whether or not you are a citizen. But you must say nothing about our agreement.
Where should I start looking for the thieves?
If I knew that, I'd go there myself. I can only tell you this much. We recently turned the entire harbor district upside down and found nothing. Absolutely nothing. The people there are not very talkative, particularly if you wear the armor of a paladin. But you are an outsider. They will not distrust you so quickly. You could ask around the harbor first, but be careful. If the people there realize that you are working for the paladins, you will learn nothing.
Why are you paladins in town?
The goals of our mission are secret. I can only tell you that there is no danger for the citizens of the town. You need not worry.
What should I do once I've found one of the thieves?
If it's a matter of a lackey, a henchman, or some small fry, it would be best if you avoid a fight. You should rather come to me and report. I shall then see to it that the fellow winds up behind bars. The city guard could intervene in an open battle, and you would not have the opportunity of explaining to them what is going on. Furthermore, there is a bounty for every rotten apple you put behind bars. However, if you locate the leader's hideout, well, then you probably won't be able to avoid a fight.
What should I expect with the militia?
Let me make one thing clear. To be a soldier of the militia means much more than strolling through the city in a uniform. It is a dirty and even bloody job. Once you are one of us, a great deal of work will be waiting for you. But it is worth it. Besides the pay, you might someday have the chance of becoming a holy warrior of Inos.
About those missing people.
Just leave me alone with that. I've got other problems.
Look, I've got this letter of recommendation from your provisions master.
What? Show me. Well, I'll be. This must have cost you quite an effort. It's no easy feat to get something like this out of Martin. All right, I'm convinced. If Martin vouches for you, I shall let you join. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready to join the militia.
Martin, the provisions master, vouches for you and has even recommended you. That alone is enough for me. You can join us if you wish, but your decision will be final. Once you wear the armor of the militia, you cannot simply take it off and no longer belong to us. Are you prepared to fight together with us for Inos and the king?
I'm ready.
Then so shall it be. Welcome to the militia. Here is your armor. Wear it with pride and dignity.
Can I finally see Lord Hagen now?
You are now in the service of the paladins. They will let you in, but you had better have something important to say.
Don't worry, I do.
Remember that you are meeting the chief paladin. Behave yourself accordingly. You represent not only yourself now, but the entire militia.
Will I get a weapon too?
Of course. Peck usually takes care of that. but it occurs to me that I haven't seen him for quite a while. Find out where he's hiding and bring him here. Then he will give you a weapon. And if you want to sleep, you can lie down in one of the beds in the bunkhouse.
Have you got an assignment for me?
Lately, there's been an increase in the sale of swamp weed in the city. We cannot allow this stuff to catch on. Otherwise, everyone here will start smoking and no longer be able to work, let alone wield the weapon. Particularly now that there is a danger of a possible attack by orcs or mercenaries. I suspect that the mercenaries are behind it. I bet they are bringing the stuff into the city.
What is there to do?
Mortis, one of our men, heard in the harbor inn that a package of swamp weed has arrived somewhere in the harbor district. Look around down there and bring me the package.
Will you tell me now why you paladins have come to Khorinis?
Now you belong to the city guard. Therefore, you are also subordinate to the paladins. Now, I can take you into my confidence. We have come on a mission from King Robar. With the collapse of the barrier, the deliveries of ore have failed. Therefore, we are getting the ore and bringing it to the mainland. With the ore, we shall forge new weapons and drive the orcs back.
What about the missing people?
What about them?
Well, shouldn't we try to find them?
Lord Hagen gave me orders to protect the town and the surrounding farms. That means that we're taking care of the people who are still here. The militia patrols the streets at night. That's all I can do. And you will take care of the tasks I give you. Understood?
I've come to collect the bounty for a criminal. Canthar the merchant is trying to get rid of Sarah.
Sarah? The weapons merchant in the marketplace?
I was supposed to foist a letter on Sarah, which claimed that she's supplying weapons to Onar.
I see. I shall gladly pay the bounty for that bastard. He is already as good as behind bars.
So Lord Andre accepted you. I expect you to come here and train regularly. Ruga will train you in the art of the crossbow, and Mortis will help you to increase your strength. But the most important thing is for you to learn to handle your sword properly. I'll make a good fighter of you yet.
Someone's got to do the work.
That's an open secret. Everybody knows.
Ah, there you are again. That's not what my husband thinks.
Canthar was trying to trick you and to get your booth for himself, but I've turned him over to the city guard.
Then you've made an enemy of a dangerous man. I've known the bastard for a long time, and he's always wanted my place for himself. Take this weapon as a token of my gratitude. Not what I heard.
How's business?
When the Paladins came, I first thought that it was a good business opportunity, but they let Herod make their weapons, and neither Hakon nor I make even one gold piece off them. Moreover, the farmers no longer supply us with food, and all the prices have gone up.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Show me your wares.
He can't keep anything to himself.
What's the problem with the farmers?
They refuse to deliver their goods. Now that the ships no longer come in, the city depends entirely on the supplies provided by the farmers, of course. And Onar, the largest farmer, has hired mercenaries to protect his farm from the city guards. Otherwise, they'd simply snatch the goods for themselves. But the mercenaries don't just guard Onar's farm. They come as far as the small farms outside of town to intimidate the farmers. I saw them as I was passing Akil's farm. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes now.
Where will I find Akil's farm?
If you go out of the east gate here and follow the road to the right, you'll come to a stairway. It leads up to Akil's farm, but I wouldn't go there now. The mercenaries are certainly still there.
These are bad times.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Don't tell this to anyone. That's not what I heard.
wisdom.
I used the spell scroll.
Fine, fine. And were you successful?
Yes, it worked.
Excellent. One small success for science, but a big one for me. Now, I can use my time to instruct you in the arts of alchemy. I could also give you some useful things if you want.
Show me your wares. Hey, you! I met Valentino.
And?
I gave him a sound beating.
He deserved it. Here. I found this ring on him when our little disagreement had been settled. You're welcome to pass it on to the next person who beats him up.
There's nothing you can do about it.
And the sea released the land, and there arose
Valentino was unable to pay his bar tab last night. He was blathering something about having been robbed and paying me later on. Really?
And what did you do?
Well, I gave him a good thrashing. What else?
Here, take this ring.
What? I don't understand.
It used to belong to Valentino. You're welcome to pass it on to the next person who tans his hide.
And the beast became his subject. And Beliar gave unto it a portion of his divine power, so that it might destroy the land.
I know nothing about picking locks. I know nothing about picking locks.
He also bestrode the land and chose the human. And Enos spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Enos gave unto him.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
What do you want here?
I want to see the prisoners.
All right, pal.
I need to get going.
Alarm!
Hear ye, inhabitants of this moment onward, Lord Andre will take the supreme command of our militia.
Alarm!
All the citizens of this city who have martial skills at their disposal.
Fighting here, let that be a lesson to you.
You're in the militia now. I'm gonna laugh myself sick. A former convict in the militia. Only you could pull something like that. You won't blow the whistle on me about working for Lee, will you?
But you know me. Do you know anything about a thieves' guild in town?
The questions you ask. Of course, there's a thieves' guild here, just like in every big city. And every petty pickpocket or fence is probably connected to it somehow.
Teach me something.
Good. Your strength has increased.
That's not what I heard.
Halt!
What?
Just wanted to have a look at you. Oh well, you seem to have some money. Go on in. Hey, not so fast. Strolling about alone out here is dangerous. Where do you come from?
From the city.
Well. Then what are you doing wandering around out here, so far from the protective walls of the city?
What's so dangerous out here?
Many things. I bet you'll be yelling for my help after the next bend in the road.
Just assuming I would fall back on your help. How much would that cost me?
I am merely a humble servant of the king, and would not enjoy fleecing a helpless little citizen of the realm. But you know, if you put it like that, I wouldn't object to a little financial backing to promote our future business relationship. 10 gold coins should do for starters. What do you think?
Why not? Here's your 10 coins.
Terrific. If you need my help, you know where to find me. But please do me a favor. Don't come to me with any trifles. I can't stand that, you hear?
A lot of citizens are missing, and everything seems to indicate that you're not quite innocent in the matter.
Damn it. It's not what you think it is. Do I look like a slave trader to you? No, I only transport goods. What they are and where they come from is no concern of mine. We have shipped all kinds of things for those swine. First, it was just regular stuff. Well, sometimes it may have been contraband. But then they started to kidnap the inhabitants of the city. No idea what they're planning to do with them. All we did was ferry them across.
Who are you talking about?
The bandits, of course. Who else? The filthy scum who are making themselves at home all over the island. And not just here, around Corinus.
Just bandits isn't good enough for me. I want a name.
A name? You want to know who's leading the bandits? Damn it! What was that bastard's name again? I just can't recall his name. Even if it wasn't all that complicated. But I can show you where to find the boss of the gang in this part of Corinus. Have you got a decent map?
No.
Then I guess I'll have to give you a description. There's a very big farm far to the east. The farmer's name is NotR, I think. He's got some fairly large fields. To the south of those fields, there's a small fortress on a high cliff. That's where you'll find your man. I remember his name now. Dexter. Yes, I think they called him Dexter.
Where did you take those people?
I already told you. I'm not going to tell you where our bay is.
I've got a package for you from Baltram.
What? He's sending me an errand boy? Scared shitless, is he? Oh well, what can you expect from such a puny penny pincher?
He says he wants 3 bottles of your rum in return.
Ha ha, wouldn't he like that? First he makes me wait forever, doesn't even show up in person. Then he has the nerve to make demands. Here, give him 2 bottles. That's enough for him.
I've still got it.